para resolver el caso. En este episodio, Selena, la exitosa cantante de origen mexicano, baleada a sangre fría cuando huía de su atacante.
She called out, help me, I've been shot.
I knew something was wrong because we see blood.
Veremos a los médicos tratando de salvar su vida.
When they cracked her chest open, there was no blood inside her chest. So that means it all came out.
Mientras la asesina tiene en vilo a la policía durante 9 horas y media.
She was cornered. She didn't know what to do. Many times I thought she would kill herself.
Y seguimos a los investigadores desentrañando el motivo de este brutal asesinato.
My theory is that Yolanda was obsessed with Selena, combined with anger because she was being terminated from her.
A continuación, en famosas escenas de crimen, Selena. Era la reina del estilo conocido como tejano. En 1995, Selena, con 23 años, tenía una legión de fans. Y estaba grabando su primer álbum en inglés.
No one can argue that Selena had incredible talent and charisma, and she was an incredible entertainer. She had just won a Grammy. She had this new album that was going to be fantastic. She was about to begin shining in full brilliance.
All fans, thank you for making this possible. We love you. Thank you. Gracias.
Pero el 31 de marzo de 1995, en el motel Days Inn en Corpus Christi, Texas, su vida y su prometedora carrera tuvieron un abrupto final. Cerca de las 11:48 AM, Selena Quintanilla Pérez sale tambaleante de la habitación 158 con una herida de bala. Desangrándose, corre hasta la entrada del motel.
At the corner of my eye, I look towards the window and I see a lady running in distress. I knew something was wrong because you see blood coming from her. And I saw blood when she hit that window. It was on the window, on the door.
Selena llega a la recepción y se desploma en el suelo.
Called out, help me, I've been shot.
And my concern was not knowing what had happened or who was coming.
There was a lot of confusion at that time. Someone recognized her and hollered out, that's Selena.
La gerenta, Barbara Schultz, se apresura a llamar al 911.
When was your location? David Motel, it's 901 Navigation Boulevard. What's wrong, in? We have a woman right in the lobby, so she's been shot. She's right on the floor and there's blood. Okay. You don't know anything else about who might have done it or anything like that? It's another lady, that's all I know. We're trying to find out.
I said, who shot you? She said she's in 158. This is the lady who she's saying shot her. That's when Shauna is looking through the reg cards to see who's registered.
La habitación 158 está a nombre de Yolanda Saldívar. Su nombre y la matrícula del vehículo llegan al despacho. Mientras el personal espera la ambulancia, la condición de Selena empeora.
And I started talking to her, trying to comfort her because she started fading away. As I talked, there was less and less movement from her, less moaning, less everything. She just started going away.
Los paramédicos están cerca y llegan al motel a las 11:52 AM.
From the time the call came in to the time we were on scene was a minute and 55 seconds. Pulled up and went right into the office area, and laying on the ground was a young lady. She was wearing a jogging suit. So when we took the jacket off of her, we could see exactly where the holes were in her. So immediately put a Vaseline gauze on there. That stops any bleeding. She was really in distress. She still had a very slow heartbeat.
Mientras la ambulancia traslada velozmente a Selena, cerca de allí, la policía de Corpus Christi responde a la llamada. Luego de recorrer medio kilómetro en menos de un minuto, la policía se topa con Yolanda en una camioneta roja, intentando salir del estacionamiento. Yolanda ve la patrulla, se detiene, retrocede y estaciona frente a la recepción. Su camioneta es bloqueada por el vehículo policial. Una vez allí, Yolanda Saldívar saca un arma, apunta a su cabeza y se niega a bajar de la camioneta. Llegan más policías. entre ellos el detective de Corpus Christi, Paul Rivera.
As I arrived at the hotel, I saw two police officers in uniform standing behind a red pickup truck. I could see the lady with a handgun to her right temple. I said, what happened? He said, yeah, Selena got shot. I said, Selena the singer? I said, yeah, she got shot. She made it move back. My whole thinking made me think, man, this is something serious.
Como la sospechosa está armada y no se entrega, llaman al equipo de SWAT y al cuerpo de negociadores de la policía. Mientras tanto, la ambulancia recorre los 8 kilómetros hasta el hospital. Los paramédicos se desesperan por estabilizar a Selena, gravemente herida.
We started trying to get IVs on her. I was trying on her left arm. Ryan was still doing a little CPR, keeping what blood was left pumping through her brain and her heart. I told him, I can't get anything on. She's flat. Her veins are flat because she's bled out.
Por la gran pérdida de sangre, la presión arterial de Selena es muy baja. Sin presión, las venas se contraen y es difícil hallar una que permita inyectar una aguja intravenosa.
We had the driver call in the hospital and tell him we have a shooting victim. We're unable to get a line and we'll be there very shortly.
Cuando el equipo de SWAT y los negociadores llegan al motel Days Inn, la tensión aumenta.
When I arrived at the Days Inn, there was just chaos everywhere. There were policemen running around, investigators. The traffic had stopped upon the freeway. Navigation was shut down. Nobody seemed to know really what was going on and why.
Cerca de las 12 p.m. la ambulancia llega al hospital central.
Got her into the trauma room where the doctors were sitting there and the surgeons were standing by. And they came up and they cut her chest open and they stuck two big needles into her heart with blood bags and were squeezing on the blood.
Al intentar restablecer la circulación, los médicos descubren que la bala atravesó una arteria de la cavidad coronaria y la pérdida de sangre es enorme.
When they cracked her chest open, there was no blood inside of her. There was no blood inside her chest. So that means it all came out. It all came out.
El cuerpo humano normal tiene entre 4 y 5 litros de sangre. En Selena, el exceso de adrenalina hizo expulsar el torrente sanguíneo por la arteria rota, perdiendo mucha sangre. Luego de unos 50 minutos, los médicos ven que el daño es irreparable. Selena Quintanilla Pérez es declarada muerta a la 1:05 p.m. A continuación, la negociación llega a un punto crítico.
She had already put the weapon down. She went back.
Además, se descubre un posible motivo.
Selena told Yolanda, I'm not going to need you anymore. That's for Yolanda. Got a gun.
A continuación, en famosas escenas de crimen, Selena.
Once again to repeat, Selena Quintanilla, KXTN recording artist, has been shot in Corpus Christi.
How do you feel about the situation on Selena passing away?
Hurt. Very hurt. I just found out about it. Man, I can't believe it.
La noticia de la muerte de Selena impactó a la comunidad tejana. Cientos de fans se reúnen frente a su casa en Corpus Christi. Mientras tanto, en el Days Inn, su supuesta asesina ya lleva 2 horas en su camioneta apuntando a su cabeza. Para comunicarse con la sospechosa, los negociadores conectan una línea telefónica entre su base de operaciones junto al vestíbulo del motel y la camioneta rodeada. El jefe de la negociación, Larry Young, quiere entenderse con Yolanda.
I think she was pretty much fearful of everybody. I think she was fearful of me at first. She was cornered. She didn't know what to do. It's like it's her lowest moment. Many times I thought she would kill herself.
He was asking about Selena, how she's doing, and by then I knew Selena was no longer there. Very bluntly, when will I? We have to. Because what is the goal? The goal is to save a life, even her life.
La negociación no avanza, y el detective Paul Rivera, junto con la policía de Corpus Christi, buscan pruebas.
Well, I went around the hotel to the opposite side where the shooting occurred. There was a trail of blood leading from the room 158. I went from the grassy area to the sidewalk, around the pool, all the way out to the lobby. I measured the distance. The blood trail is 392 feet.
Luego de asegurar la escena del crimen y entrevistar a varios testigos, el detective Rivera va al hospital central donde habla con la familia de Selena. Su padre, Abraham Quintanilla, y su esposo, Chris Pérez. Allí descubre la relación de Yolanda con Selena.
Grace told me she worked for us, she worked for Selena, she was the fan club manager, and Abraham, the father, didn't like Yolanda. For some reason, he didn't trust her.
Abraham Quintanilla couldn't stand her. He wanted her out of the picture yesterday. He said that the reason why Yolanda killed Selena was for two reasons, because she was obsessed with Selena and because she had stolen money from the fan club. Yolanda denied it, and he basically told her, you need to come up with answers and you need to bring the documents to prove that what I am saying is not true.
Según Chris Pérez, Yolanda citó a Selena en el Daisy la mañana del 31 de marzo.
She went there to confront Yolanda about the embezzlement and to get these documents that would prove that she was not stealing money from Selena.
Allí, Yolanda revela algo terrible sobre su reciente viaje a México.
Yolanda told Selena that she had been raped in Mexico. Selena drove her to Dutton Regional Hospital for an exam. Selena found out from the nurses that Yolanda was making it up. She was not raped. Selena decided to take her back to the hotel.
Chris Pérez también revela que Selena, frustrada con Yolanda, regresó al Daisy con la intención de dar por terminada una relación laboral de 5 años.
Well, what I gathered was that Selena told Yolanda, I'm not going to need you anymore. That's when Yolanda took out a gun. Selena ran for the door. That's when Yolanda shot at her one time.
Pasaron 3 horas del asesinato. Los reporteros llegan al hospital a pedir detalles de la muerte de Selena.
It occurred to me that there's going to be a lot of tension on the case. I said, call the police immediately and tell them that we're going to do the autopsy right now.
La autopsia revela que la bala entró por el lado inferior derecho de la espalda, atravesó el tórax, perforó la arteria subclavia y salió por la parte superior del pecho. Esta arteria es el conducto sanguíneo principal y atraviesa el tórax. Si la bala hubiera penetrado más arriba o más abajo, la herida no hubiese sido tan grave. La policía lleva ya 4 horas y media negociando con Yolanda en el motel. Los nervios de la joven aumentan y el negociador Isaac Valencia encuentra una estrategia para poner fin a la crisis.
It was during my phase where I remember giving her a hook. And you start convincing the person, hey, look, your trigger. You didn't mean to do it. I mean, you're talking to her and your finger slipped. And you just keep saying it and repeating it. And before you know it, the person's believing it. And you have a hook now. Now you're working on giving her an excuse on, I didn't mean to do this.
I wasn't going to kill myself. Not her. Not her. And she told me, Yolanda, I don't want you to kill yourself. And we were talking about it when I took it out and put it into my head. And when I put it in my head, she opened the door and Selena closed that door. And when I did that, the gun went off.
I'm convinced that the conversation that I had with her planted that seed in her head.
Luego de 6 horas de tensión, Yolanda se convence de que el disparo fue accidental y finalmente acepta rendirse.
One of the SWAT officers at that time, when she was stepping out, pulled the long rifle at her, and she got scared. She went back. She had already put the weapon down. She went back inside the truck, picked up the weapon, and placed it on her head again. Now we got to start again.
8:45 p.m. Luego de 9 agotadoras horas y un intento fallido, cuando la sospechosa de matar a Selena entró en pánico y desistió de rendirse, los negociadores deben volver a convencerla de entregarse. Y eventualmente lo logran.
Finally, she says, okay, well, I'll come out, but I'll just come out to Larry. Larry's got to come forward.
We ended up agreeing that I would come out and I would be there when she got out of the vehicle and that she would come with me. I'd give her a chance to see me and see how she reacts to that. We look at each other from a distance.
With a degree of apprehension on her part. And keep in mind, she didn't know who Larry was, because she hadn't seen him. But when she heard the voice, and there's Larry.
Finalmente la resistencia termina. Yolanda, desconsolada, se rinde.
She started crying and telling me how awful the situation had been and how she had to want to do what happened and how things get out of hand and they just take off from you. She cried for the entire time that we were moved to the main police building.
A las 10 p.m. llegan a la delegación de Corpus Christi, donde el detective Rivera interrogará a la sospechosa.
The interrogation that went through the whole, tell me exactly what happened. I took notes of everything she's telling me. After I finished with her, I said, I'm going to read it to you, you can read it too. And then if you agree, you can sign it. And she signed the statement, and dated it and timed it.
La joven explica que el padre de Selena no quería verla cerca de su hija, porque no aprobaba su relación y quería despedirla. Además, confirma que tuvieron una discusión antes del disparo. La joven tomó su arma y Selena abrió la puerta. Le dijo que cerrara la puerta, pero ella salió corriendo.
She said I shot her.
From the very start, looking at all the witness statements, looking at everything that we had a simple case of murder. We had a confession admitting that she shot Selena. This was not a question of who done it. The real question was, why did she do it?
My theory is that Yolanda was obsessed with Selena, combined with anger because she was being terminated from work. So the intent is there.
She was angry at Mr. Quintanilla, and she was going to get back at him. And the way to get back at him is not to hurt him, not to physically, but to take away the thing that he loves the most.
El lunes 3 de abril, Yolanda Saldívar es procesada por homicidio en primer grado, cuya pena máxima es cadena perpetua. La defensa alega que el disparo fue accidental, un argumento que la fiscalía rechaza.
We had a gun expert who told the jury this gun would not fire without somebody pulling the trigger. Even if it falls down and it hits concrete or anything, it won't fire because of the way the gun is manufactured.
Para disparar una bala calibre 38, hay que ejercer 5 kilos de presión sobre el gatillo. Se activa el mecanismo del diente de escape, que vuelve el martillo percutor a su posición. Gira el tambor y hace disparar la bala. El roce accidental del gatillo no provoca un disparo.
Accidental gunshot wounds are few and far between, but the defense will always try to make it an accident. The gun went off. Well, it went off because somebody pulled the trigger.
El 11 de octubre de 1995 se inicia el juicio. Luego de apenas 2 semanas y media, Yolanda Saldívar espera la decisión del jurado. En la puerta del tribunal en Houston, miles de fans de Selena quieren un veredicto de culpabilidad.
We want justice for Selena. We want Saldívar put away for life.
If they don't send her to prison, she won't be here too long. I guarantee that. I'm not gonna get rid of her.
A continuación, el jurado anuncia su veredicto. Y revivimos una entrevista posterior al juicio con Yolanda Saldívar.
Did you pull the trigger?
I won't discuss it.
A continuación, en famosas escenas de crimen, Selena. El jurado declara a Yolanda Saldívar culpable de homicidio en primer grado de Selena Quintanilla Pérez.
May the jury, having found the defendant guilty of murder, assess her punishment of confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for life.
Killer Tejano singer Selena has been given the maximum sentence. Selena fans cheered after Yolanda Saldívar was sentenced to life in prison.
Hoy Yolanda está detenida en una prisión de máxima seguridad en Gateville, Texas, y podrá pedir la libertad condicional en 2025. No declaró en su juicio, pero en una entrevista exclusiva en 1998 habló del asesinato.
It was never an intentional to kill Selena. Never. My intention was to relieve myself from all of that.
You were going to kill yourself.
Yes,
Why did you end up killing your best friend?
I didn't kill her.
Pero Yolanda no dio más detalles sobre qué pasó ese día.
What was the nature of your discussion with Selena?
I won't discuss that.
Did you ever raise the gun up?
I won't discuss that.
Did you point the gun?
I won't discuss that.
Did you pull the trigger?
I won't discuss that.
During my career in homicide, I worked probably about 200 murders. Some people made remorse, but this woman, no. No remorse at all.
En julio de 1995, el álbum póstumo editado por la familia de Selena, Dreaming of You, ganó 3 discos de platino y vendió 3 millones de copias. Su trágica historia inspiró una película. Y años después de su muerte, el legado de Selena vive en su música y sus fans.
The impact of her death was incredible because people that were not even acquainted with her music began to know her story and to listen to her songs, and then they fell in love with Selena. She has been loved and mourned for many, many years. 15 years after her death, there's still people that they will watch her videos and they will cry.